We have some really bad actors in our water lines.
Bacteria likes to find a way to stick, so it can create biofilm and build its community and its houses and all those things in water lines which we don't want to have.
Dental assistant turnover specifically is upwards of 30%. One office may have SOPs, but then the next one does not. We learn from each other.
Learning from each other can sometimes be a little tricky.
We have a lot of outbreaks here in the United States.
When I go into any medical practice for an appointment, I want to believe that my safety is paramount.
So Angela, Stericyl Safe Water Solution, how does that benefit a DSO?
I like tablets. I think they're great. The problem that I have is that it's very easy for somebody to forget. The dental assistant is the busiest person in the practice, and they're responsible for that. When you've given them 10 different things to do, this is one that could be forgotten. Every vendor out there should be thinking about this. How do you create a product that has the least amount of steps? I don't have to remember 10 steps. I have to remember a couple. So I moved to straws. I like those because it's a set it and forget it kind of process.
And in today's busy dental practice, that's a beautiful thing. Let's talk about silver ion technology and why do you feel that is important for dental practices?
Compatibility. I don't have to worry about the patient saying, this water tastes funny.
It's fantastic. Is Kevin Henry, Editor-in-Chief for DrBicuspid.com and founder of Dental Assistant Nation. Thanks so much for joining us for another podcast today, and I'm thrilled to welcome on Angela Simmons. So let's talk about silver ion technology, and why do you feel that is important for dental practices?
So I can be frank?
Please.
Okay. So I am of the mind that when you know better, you do better. Okay. We go along. We have whatever processes that we've always had. Maybe we have a process that somebody told us about. As you begin to learn and hopefully grow, right, you'll start to move in different directions. So over the last several years, I've had, when I'm in dental practices, I've had a lot of experience in working with my clients who are using various products for dental waterline maintenance. So I've seen tablets, I've seen straws, right? And then when I look at those, so let's just looking at those two, right? Tablets and straws. I like tablets. I think they're great. The problem that I have is that it's very easy for somebody to forget because, again, the dental assistant is probably likely the busiest person in the practice, and they're responsible for that. So when you've given them 10 different things to do first thing in the morning, this is one that could be forgotten. And I don't think it's a purposeful thing. I think it's when you've got 10 different things that you have to do, sometimes the ball gets dropped somewhere. So you have that issue, it could be forgotten. The other issue that I've seen with it, I get a lot of questions on, well, okay, so I put the tablet in and now, we're a couple hours in, I've got about half a bottle of water left. We've got a whole lot going on this morning. I'm going to go ahead and top the bottle off. What do I do? Do I need to put another tablet in? No, I don't need to put another tablet in. There was already one tablet in there. And so do we have enough of the chemical in there to do the job, right?
Yeah.
Are we still properly maintaining with the tablets? So I think there's too much volatility with it, right? There's too much risk that we're going to forget it or, that we're going to top off and forget that we're supposed to, add another tablet to it. So I moved to straws. I like those because it's a set it and forget it kind of process for the employee. Why do I like silver ion? Compatibility.
There you go.
I mean, that is, for me, beyond everything else, beyond that it's more stable than iodine. right?
Yep.
Beyond that, I don't have to worry about the patient saying, this water tastes funny, right? Different than iodine. You have a product compatibility. When the dental assistant, again, who is overworked, has to think about, okay, before I can shock these lines, I got to take the straw out. Then I got to put the straw back in, right? That's a lot. Those are a lot of steps that they shouldn't have to go through. When I can tell an employee, and I just did this yesterday in an office that I was in, they had the Citrasil there. They already had the straws in. They just weren't using the Citrasil. And when I could say, hey, just get 6 ounces of warm water, drop that Citrasil tablet in there, swirl it around, make sure you coat the inside of that bottle, pull it through the lines, let it sit. She said, do I need to take the straw out? No, you don't, because you have product compatibility here. And I don't have to worry that I'm going to damage that straw. I don't have to worry that the product is I'm going to have an elution problem and I'm going to lose all of my silver ion in 30 days or 60 days and not realize it. And so now my 365-day straw is really only a 90-day straw, and we have no idea whether it's working or not. The stableness of the product, the efficiency, the effectiveness of the processes is all the reason I think any DSO needs to use Sterisil.
It's fantastic. And I can just imagine the relief a little bit that there was whenever you said, all you could do is swish it. And because that's one less thing, as you said,
It was so easy. And, they always have questions, and we were talking about it. And I said, swirl it around. And when you come back in the next day, pull it through your lines and then let it sit. When you come back in the next day, just put some fresh water in there and flush it. And don't worry, because this is biocompatible. It's not going to hurt your patient.
Nice.
And that was another one of those, like, you can see the relief, right? I don't have to worry, I don't have to flush 2 bottles of water through here. I don't have to worry about there's a little bit of chemical residue in here and it's going to hurt the patient, or the patient's going to notice that there's a weird flavor to the water, like there's something going on, or I can smell something in the water. So it's a lot of relief. If you can create a process, and I think every vendor out there should be thinking about this. How do you create a product that has the least amount of steps, right? So a product with the least amount of process. I don't have to remember 10 steps. I have to remember a couple. Put the straw in. Hopefully it's on a subscription, and I don't even have to remember that. It's going to come in on an annual basis. Make sure that I'm testing, using that Fast Check 15 on that quarterly basis, using a Citrasil shock on a quarterly basis. That's a pretty simple process. And I don't have to take the straw out to do any of it.
And in today's busy dental practice, it's a beautiful thing.
Very beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So, Angela, the Sterisil Safe Water Solution, how does that benefit a DSO?
So if you look at what's currently happening, we'll go back to one of the first things that I said. We haven't been talking about water very long in the scheme of things. Right. We haven't been having that conversation for very long. And so the information, you have information that's trickled into some offices, and they have various processes and protocols in place based on whatever information they got. Mm-hmm. And so that information, maybe it's accurate. Maybe there's some inaccuracies in it, right? Yep. Maybe there's some interpretation. So, I think about one of our clients, and I think about the Safe Water Protocol, and what am I seeing? How does the Safe Water Protocol benefit the DSO? How does it benefit our industry? How does it benefit our patients? Because that should, at the end of the day, that's what we should be most concerned about, is
Absolutely.
The patient that's coming into our practice. Before I completely answer your question, I went to Georgia for the hearing on water, the board hearing. And so I get off the plane, and I'm getting my car so I can drive over to the hotel. And the guy at the counter, was being very friendly. He was chit-chatting with me, and he asked me what brought me into town. And normally I would just say, here for business or whatever, and move on. But for whatever reason, I said, I'm actually here because your dental board has proposed some changes to rule that will require dental practices to ensure that the water that is used during your visits, your treatment, your appointments is safe. That guy almost fell off his chair. The look on his face was just one of astonishment. He was like, "You mean they're not already required to keep this water safe?" Patients believe, right? And I want to believe. When I go into any medical practice for an appointment, when I go into any dental practice for an appointment, I want to believe that my safety is paramount.
Oh my gosh.
That they have already done everything that they need to do. They have all of the right processes, all of the right protocols. Even if it's behind the scenes, stuff that I don't know about, they've already thought about it. They're already doing it, and they're keeping me safe.
Yeah.
Because we haven't talked about this long enough in our industry, I think there's still lots of pitfalls, and there's lots of gaps. What I have seen, I've got a client that I'm thinking about right now. They were using iodine straws.
Okay.
They were using paddles to test, and they were using bleach as a shock. And so I would go in, and if I happened to be in during a time frame when they were in their quarterly testing protocol, when you walked in the front door, the bleach smell would assault you.
Ugh.
And so it took me a full 2 years to convince them that, hey, listen, if you're bleaching before you test, all you're doing is testing whether or not the bleach worked. Right? You're not testing what's happening, whether your maintenance product worked.
Yeah.
You're testing whether or not the bleach worked. And we know that, if we sent that to a lab, what are they going to pick up? If they were really testing for it, they'd pick up the chlorines in that water. So it took us a couple of years, and my intent, to start with, was simply to get them to stop using bleach in their dental unit water lines. There's no IFU for this, right? There's no instructions for use. This should not be a process, right? We should be using a shock for this, right? Something that has already been designed for that very purpose. So we end up then, so this person, they're using bleach because they were told to do that. They have 40 offices. It was something like 300 operatories. And they were using paddle tests. And so you have to rely on the employee to do the test. Then you have to rely on them to find a place to incubate it. And truthfully, right, when you think about a paddle, I don't care whose paddle it is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Is it 72? How many hours is it?
Yeah.
And so then I have to rely on the employee to find a place where they can incubate this. We're not incubating it at body temperature, but isn't that probably what all of these bacteria proliferate at, right? So we've got to find a place for that. And then they would have to take pictures of all these paddles and send them to one person. And this one person would have to look at all of these paddles, interpret them, give instructions back to these 40 offices, store these images somewhere. So how does the Safe Water Protocol help me?
Wow.
Right? Now, what they have done, they have Steristraw in all of their offices. They have Fast Check 15, and they have Citrasil. So now I have a straw, which we've already said, set it and forget it.
Sure.
Right? So it's 1 year, I don't have to worry about this. On a quarterly basis, they can use R2A, right? The lab testing, which I'm a huge fan of that. The issue that if I have to say I have an issue with R2A, it's time. Okay? Because it's awesome that I can take the water sample. I think this is phenomenal. I take the sample, I drop it in with an ice pack, I send it through UPS, it goes to the lab, I get a report. There's no arguing whether those results are good or not.
Right.
If you then think about, well, what happens if I have a failed water test? Right? So if I don't know till a week later that I had a failed water test, now I need to remediate. Okay. So, and hopefully they used their shock in the interim. But if I have to remediate, am I going to do another R2A? and wait another week? Or am I going to use a fast check 15?
Right.
So this is where I think Stericycle's done this phenomenal job in their suite of products.
Yeah.
You have a straw that is in for a year. You have Citrosil Shock that is compatible. You have a fast check 15, so I can get a result in 15 minutes, and you have an R2A test. How do I see all of this coming together? Use your Steristraw. No brainer.
Right.
Use R2A testing. I would recommend, I know that there's sometimes cost issues for offices. I would recommend the R2A on at least an annual basis. And then use your fast check 15 on a monthly basis.
Mm-hmm.
Use it on your off quarter. So if you use fast check 15 for those 3 quarters, or you use it on a monthly basis, you use the R2A one time a year. Then you're getting your results on that fast check 15. You're getting your results in 15 minutes. And yesterday when I did that with one of my clients, they were like, show us how to use this testing protocol. I'm like, this is so easy. In fact, I said to the girl I was talking with, I said, it's kind of like a pregnancy test. 1 line, you're good. 2 lines, well, it depends on how you feel about it. You're good or you're not so good, right?
Exactly.
And so we went through that whole process, right? It was so easy. A couple drops of water, swirl it around, let it sit for 5 minutes, put the dipstick in, let it sit for 10 minutes. 1 line or 2 lines. It's as simple as that. And then I know if I've got a problem, if I need to remediate or not.
Angela Simmons, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed the conversation. And thanks to all of you who've listened to this episode of this podcast brought to you by drbycuspid.com and Dental Assistant Nation. We'll be back soon with another one, so stay tuned.